Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, the new year's come and gone, and I got a ton of pickups that I want to show you guys. The post office was incredibly backed up, so a lot of this stuff is finally coming in, and that's what I want to talk about on today's episode. So roll that intro. So like I said, the post office was incredibly backed up. So a lot of these packages I had ordered, but they just never came in. So finally, everything's catching back up and everything's starting to come in. So let's get into it. So first, I'm going to talk about a couple toys that I picked up because you guys know I love toys. And the first toy that I picked up was actually from Target, and I got really lucky. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Krang android body. This figure just looks phenomenal. And all these toys are based off the original Playmates toy line cartoon. You know, it's made by Neca, so it's extremely fragile. Things break on these all the time, so I try not to play with them too much. They're mostly for display, but I mean, just look at him. He looks fantastic, and you can actually take Krang out of his body also, put him in his little walker if you want. I got him for $34.99, I think is what they costed at the store. But like I said, all these Target exclusive Ninja Turtle figures are just incredibly hard to find. You got to get very lucky to find them at retail. You're usually buying these secondhand or from a scalper, unfortunately. I got pretty lucky and actually got Krang. So another set that I picked up, I didn't get these at Target. I actually had to pay about $15 over retail for these because you just can't find them. And that's the Bebop and Rocksteady NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle double pack. And these are just cartoon accurate. I mean, look at these things. Bebop looks fantastic. I love his shoes and everything. But here, I'll show you a perfect example of why these things are so fragile. As soon as I pulled Bebop out of the package, I pulled him out and his shoe is just sitting in the package. Broken right out of the package. So I got a hold of NECA and said, hey, he's actually broken. I'd rather not glue him. You know, this is a quality issue. Can you please send me a replacement figure? And I figured they would. So they agreed to send me a figure. So I'm thinking I'm just going to get another Bebop. Well, no. They send me the torso and the legs. No head, no arms. So I basically had to swap them all off and put them on the new figure. But here's the thing. The replacement figure that I got, his entire leg was broken on the new figure. I'm just like, this is completely ridiculous. So, you know what? I just left it on there and I used the original figure and I just threw the other one in a box. That's Bebop, and here is Rocksteady. Just phenomenal quality, fantastic figures, but just, man, they're so fragile. Like, I hate moving these guys because something's going to break on them. I got my Krang and my Rocksteady. Now, if you didn't know, I actually have a lot more figures from this line. And I plan on doing a separate video just talking about the Ninja Turtle Target exclusive cartoon line. So that's why I'm not going very in depth on these, because there's a ton more figures that I have down here that I haven't shown yet. So the next two figures that I picked up, I actually picked these up along with a ton more figures. And as everybody knows, if they watch my channel, I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan. Well, I'm trying to get everything from 1982 to 1990, figure-wise. And that's a hell of a lot of figures. I'm getting down to where I only need certain figures. And some of the ones that I've actually been able to obtain was because of my friend Sean. I have never really talked about him a lot, but he actually helped me get my payload in my previous video and a ton of other figures. I want to talk about him in general and where I've actually met him at to begin with. So I met Sean at a convention, basically for just old retro toys in general, and it's called Toy Man. I don't know how many there are, but every so often, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, they have a convention in St. Louis, and that's where I met him at. I had never been before, so I went down there, was just looking around at booths, and he had some G.I. Joes out. Incredibly nice guy, so I walk up and I start looking through his figures, and every figure he had was either complete or damn near complete, and fantastic quality, because a lot of these figures, man, they're just wore out. I mean, they're 30 years old. Kids played with G.I. Joes and just beat the hell out of them. So finding figures with great quality is pretty tough to do these days. I ended up talking with him for a minute, and I actually bought a couple figures from him that day also. But one thing I did is I left my number, and I said, hey, if you can help me get some of these, I can, PayPal you the money and you can send me the figures through the mail, because I was wanting to buy as much as I could. He pretty much had a lot of stuff that I needed, or he could find the stuff that I need. So these are a couple figures that he actually helped me get. Like I said, these are just two. He's helped me get a ton. He's not the only guy that I've bought figures from, but he's one of the main guys that helped me build my G.I. Joe collection. So the first guy I want to talk about is a 1988 Sky Striker. Not many people know, but when G.I. Joes were incredibly popular in the late 80s, everybody sold them. But one thing Toys R Us did was they would strike a deal with Hasbro, who made G.I. Joe, and said, hey, make a specific line of figures that only we can sell. So they basically would buy the rights to sub-team inside the G.I. Joe universe that you could only buy at Toys R Us. And it was genius, because if you wanted these subsets, you actually had to go to Toys R Us to get them. So the first guy I want to talk about is Sky Striker, and he is from the Tiger Force. So that's Sky Striker, and he comes with this helmet with the visor, and this is not a cheap figure by any means. Sold listings on him are easily over $100. Tiger Force is a subset, and there's quite a few figures in, and he was the last one that I needed. So I actually got him from Sean, and I just really appreciate him taking the time to find all these. This isn't easy, finding all these things and piecing them together. He does all the hard work. I just buy the things from him. I just want to let him know I appreciate it. That's one of the figures that I needed to finish my Tiger Force set, and he got them for me. So a 1988 Sky Striker, and incredible quality. I mean, what I'll do is I'll probably show some second footage and give you a little better look at them so you can kind of see just the quality on them. But that's the first figure, the 1988 Sky Striker. And what I do is, before I display them, I put them in these little bags, because it helps keep them, all the accessories inside there, and I just mark it, 1988 Sky Striker complete. So I know that he's 100% complete. Another figure that I got from him is another subset team that I needed. And this one is called Nightforce. And if you know anything about G.I. Joe Nightforce, it is by far the most expensive subset there is. Every figure, I'm pretty sure, is over $150. There's not a cheap figure in it, probably. I don't know the prices exactly, because Sean usually gives me an incredible deal on these things. I don't think I could actually get any of these things if I had to pay full retail price, because these things are crazy expensive. So the next figure I have is a 1987 Crazy Legs. The Nightforce figures were basically the same figures from the G.I. Joe line, but they gave them all a new paint scheme and put them in a subset called Nightforce, which comes complete with this backpack, gun, and accessories. He's pretty much like a parachute pilot. He jumps out with the parachute and everything out of plane. Just some of these weapons on some of these Nightforce figures are $50, $60. Some are even over $100, I think, for just a little plastic gun. So getting these at a great price and is just something I'm glad I'm able to do. And I couldn't do it if it wasn't for him. So I appreciate all the hard work he puts into these, because he's not just finding these figures. He's finding figures that have insane quality, very little paint wear and things like that. So I'll kind of go through and insert some footage so you can see a little bit better on what these guys go for. And like I said, all these subsets, insanely hard to find now. So I pretty much need all of the Nightforce. Those figures alone are so expensive. If you guys need anything, you can actually get a hold of me, and I can refer you to Sean, because pretty much finds everything that I need, because there's such a small list of figures that I still need. He has so many connections and hookups. If you're wanting to start your own G.I. Joe collection or just fill in some holes, I'm sure he can help you. If you have any special needs for your G.I. Joe collection, go see him. He usually goes to all the Toy Mans in St. Louis. He'll definitely get you hooked up. Because, if it wasn't for him, there'd be no way I could get select few figures that I need. Like I said, Nightforce and all the other subsets are incredibly hard to find. So, shout out to Sean for hooking me up on those. Now, just a couple video game things that I actually picked up recently. Recently, I was going through my Super Nintendo games and noticed I didn't have an NBA Jam manual for my NBA Jam Complete in Box game. When you go through your games every now and then, I recommend doing that because you might find that you're missing a manual or maybe even a game or a cardboard insert for your Complete in Box game. I actually had about 4 or 5 games that I needed a couple different things for. A manual here, an insert, or a cardboard. I picked this up pretty cheap. I think it was like $6 maybe. NBA Jam. Such a fantastic game, man. Me and my uncle we played this game all the time, man. We wasn't into a ton of sports titles back in the day, but this wasn't a sports title. This was just so different from a regular like pick up and play, basketball game like Bulls versus Blazers. This game was just 2-on-2, smash mouth, kind of like Arch Rivals for the NES, but with like better graphics and just better gameplay. And it was just so fun, man, to just foul people and knock them down and just, shoot half court shots or full court dunks, and we got really good at this game, and it's definitely a classic. The arcade was fantastic. The only way they could have made it better was having 4 players on this game, but it only supported 2, so I picked up an NBA Jam manual. Next thing I want to talk about is a couple movies that I had bought over the holiday break. And there's not that many of them. There's only 2, but the first one I'd like to talk about is the Goonies 4K release. If you're a fan of this channel, I'm sure you know what the Goonies is, and I'm sure you know that I'm a fan of the Goonies. Any kid growing up in the 80s, man, they love this movie, and they watched it a billion times. So many quotable one-liners, mouth, iconic character, One-Eyed Willie, just everything, man, screams. When I see this movie on TV or I just always watch it. I'll always watch it. It's just weird. It's like, there's only a couple movies I can do that with, but anytime it's on, I will just sit there and watch it. So, definitely one of my favorite movies from when I was a child. The first one is The Goonies. Second one is, man, when people talk about their favorite movies of all time, a wide range of different people's opinions, but to me, this is always going to be probably my favorite movie of all time, and it's First Blood. Now, this movie is absolutely incredible. It is incredible. I don't know how else to explain it. Something about it, man, just I love this damn movie. So I had to get it in 4K, obviously. It has the slipcover, and it has a Blu-ray and digital copy also, and all that stuff. So if you get a chance, watch this movie if you haven't. I'm sure everybody has seen this movie. It's definitely one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. It's insane, and it has the very elusive alternate ending, because if you've ever seen this movie, the ending that it shows in the theatrical version isn't the ending that actually Sylvester Stallone wanted. He filmed an alternate ending, and man, is it incredible. I mean, just for the time, I couldn't believe that they pulled the stuff off that they did, just visually. So check this movie out, First Blood. Now I'm going to talk about a couple Switch games that I bought. I own a lot of these digitally, but any first-party Switch titles, I think you should pick up, because they're almost all great. I got a lot of these during the Black Friday deal when a lot of them were half off. I don't like paying $60 for Switch titles. I know it's the Switch tax, but I'm a cheapskate on these things, and some of them I just don't think you should pay $60 on. Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, Splatoon 2, pretty decent. This game's incredible. Zelda Link's Awakening, I mean, what do you say? It's perfect remake of the Game Boy Classic, one of the best games on the Switch in my opinion. Mario Tennis Aces, I recommend picking it up. Super Mario Maker 2, fantastic. Pick it up. Yoshi Crafted World, another banger. Pick them up. And I think I got all these for about half off, so it's not bad. So I did pick up one Super Nintendo game that I had been looking for a while. I know I don't talk about it very much on the channel, but I plan on changing that soon. But as you guys know, I'm a huge old school WWF wrestling fan. Anything, old WCW, NWA, all that stuff. I grew up watching wrestling, and I know a lot of people think it's cheesy. I love wrestling, and it's entertaining, and when you're a kid, I loved it. Me and my uncle watched it as much as we could, so just fitting that we'd want to play all the cool games. and I actually finally picked up the Super Nintendo version of Super Wrestlemania. This game isn't as good as Royal Rumble or Raw, but it's pretty good. It was the first one that came out. I had been looking for one in decent condition. This is it. It has all the inserts with the manual. I put a little thing on here and it holds everything into place really well. The box is pretty crisp, and I got an actual good deal on this. I think I paid maybe $30 for it, which is a pretty good deal, I think. So, cool game. And me and my uncle used to play this, not as much as the other two, but we did play this one. One whack thing about it, though, is it doesn't have Ultimate Warrior in it. And he's in the Genesis version. But it's just like, what? Like, I don't know. Back in the day, they did that weird stuff on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games. They'd make like a little difference. So you'd freaking buy both copies or something. I don't know, but the Ultimate Warrior wasn't in this version, but he was in the Sega Genesis version. Super WrestleMania. Just iconic cover. It's fantastic looking. Like I said, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I was excited to play this, and I was excited to find it in this condition because, man, all these games are just blowing up in value, man. Like, trying to find this for this deal, I snatched it up quick because other copies were selling for like almost $100, man. So I'm glad I was able to pick this up. Now the last pickup. I have a ton more, but like I said, these videos are insanely long. So just a quick backstory. So I downloaded an app called like Neighborhood or Neighbor or something like that. And it's basically just you download it and put in your zip code, and people kind of post like Facebook, like, hey, I'm selling this, or and it's just basically people in your area. So I downloaded it and I just randomly typed in Nintendo just to see if anything came up. And this post came up of this lady selling this item, and I couldn't believe it. And it was posted like 2 weeks before, so I was like, there's no way this is still there. And I can't remember exactly how much she was wanting. I want to say it was $35 or $40. And I just messaged and said, hey, is it available? And they said, yeah, come on and get it. And like I said, it's all like close neighborhood stuff. So she was like a hop, skip, and a jump away. And when I got there, I couldn't believe the insane condition of this. I talked a little bit to her about just my channel and what I planned on showing it and things like that. But when I actually got it, it was a little bit dirty. So I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and man, it came out absolutely perfect. And I actually have one already, but I debated like changing it out just because it's that good looking and incredible shape to be this old. So the story behind it was she got it, opened it up. Her dad just put the box up, and she found it 30 years later going through his stuff, I guess, through his garage or whatever. So it is the action set from Nintendo. Pristine condition of this box. There's only one thing, and I guess they had it sitting maybe like this with weight on it, because if you actually look, kind of bowed right here, and it's bowed on this end a little. But there's not one blemish on this thing. I mean, this looks incredible. And it's just the box. I didn't know what to do with it, because I don't really know what to do with it. I don't want to get rid of it because it looks so incredible. So I thought about like swapping it out with that one. It does have the styrofoam and everything in it. Just so it has all the bags right here, and perfect styrofoam controller bag. It even smells original, like great styrofoam, but everything in it is gone. So what I planned on doing was just making a video and restoring it with every single thing that it came with. And I'm just trying to get it back in like basically factory condition, so that might be a little cool thing because not a lot of people know exactly what came with the NES. Every single thing that came in it, inserts and things like that. So I don't really know what to do. What do you guys think I should do with it? It's such an iconic box, man. So many people got this. And, I bet there's people watching this that had memories of opening this exact version on Christmas Day. So, but I don't know. It's missing everything other than the styrofoam and baggies. But like I said, you can actually restore all that stuff, and I think that's what I'm going to do with it. But what do you guys think? Well, those are some of my most recent pickups. If you guys have any awesome pickups, leave them down in the comment section below. Or if you have any questions, leave those down there also. I don't mind answering anything about G.I. Joes or the Ninja Turtle figures, movies, or Nintendo stuff, anything, man. Just leave it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, keep on reminiscing, baby. Ah!
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
Toys R Us has the Nintendo Action Set. It comes with control deck, 2-game controllers, zapper light gun, and double game pack. All for just $99.99. And with all the hottest game cartridges from $29.99 to $59.99, Toys R Us is Nintendo headquarters.
More games, more